You're listening to Speaking Stellar Girl with Teri an interview series that inspires women to live their most stellar life. Teri is the co-founder of the Stellar Girl movement, and she is sitting down with women all over the world to hear about the key moments in their lives and how they live boldly, compassionately, and ultimately became a stellar girl.
Welcome to Speaking Stellar Girl. I am your host, Teri, and I am thrilled to have Ali Starr joining me today. Ali, hello. Ali is a passionate, powerful, inspirational, interactive keynote speaker. She focuses on cultural enhancement and transformation. She is the driving force between Tashi Deley movement, which is, we're going to dive into that shortly because I'll let her explain it because she knows that's her life. Like that's her lifeblood. So I'm going to let her tell you exactly what that is. I cannot wait for you to hear and for her to share her story of self-awareness and guide us on a journey of reminding us who we are before the world told us who we ought to be. Right? Welcome, Ali, to Speaking Stellar Girl. We have so much to cover. I could talk to you for hours. So let's go. Let's go.
Girl, I'm first of all, I'm so honored to be here. I dig you on every level. The moment I met you, there was this magnetic attraction I desire, and I feel like God's calling me to know her, right? And her to know me and see me. I felt seen, I felt understood. So for me to be here with you is just a great honor and pleasure. And I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all.
The universe is like, boom, boom, boom. I saw you from across the room at the conference and I'm just like, I have to go. And then you're like, oh, I'm speaking. Oh, not you were introduced. I'm like, oh, I have to wait. I'm like, oh, you have to wait. And then I heard you speak. And then I'm like, okay, this girl speaks my language. She is encompasses all the mindset stories and all the self-talk. And she's just a stellar girl. So anyways, let's start a little bit with how you began this journey yourself because you changed careers.
Yes.
You were a teacher, then you were in corporate America. And then now you're like, nope, you are on a mission to ignite 7.7 billion heartbeats. Now you're like, oh, I'm going to go half because I'm going to focus more on women at 3.6 billion.
Yes.
And you, and I want you to talk about your movement because it's to honor the greatness within, right?
Yes.
So that we can, so explain that.
Yes. Okay. So I say this Tashi Deley, this space, honestly, Teri, started when I was a little girl. And that's my belief is we all have this lion to chase. Okay. When we're little and we are as pure as we have ever been. And we just see the world so beautifully. We see souls, right? We see the insides more so than the outsides. And we care so much about how we're treated versus what people know or can teach us. Right. And so when we show up in a way, I call it the Tashi Deley way or the circle of health, where we're not living in ego, and we are not living in an insecurity. We are literally in between that space. And I call it this cocktail straw of a place to be because it's sometimes tough to stay there, Teri. It is not always easy to be in the circle of health or the Tashi Deley way where I honor the greatness within myself. Okay. And equally, I honor the greatness within people that I meet, regardless of differences.
Of course.
Regardless of political views, regardless of views on abortion or COVID or vaccines or masks or no masks or, whatever. It's I can literally, when I honor the greatness within myself, it is so much easier to see perspective and honor the greatness where people stand because their learned experiences have brought them to that belief. And it's not right or wrong. It just is. Mm-hmm. It just is who they are. Mm-hmm. And so, my gosh, now more than ever, I feel like our world is ready for this movement. I feel like we all desire to be this, right? I've never met a human that hasn't said gosh, I don't think it's good to be good to people. I think we should be raunchy. I think we should show up in ego. I think we should show up in insecurity. I've never met a human, Teri, that has said I feel like that's the better idea. No, yet our humanness or our human mess can get in the way. Mm-hmm. And our past experiences, we can trigger ourselves in such a way that we could show up in a way that we are not proud of later. And then we start to blame, justify, we start to deny the person that we really are created to be. And so that's what Tashi Deley does is helps us get back to that 5-year-old, 3-year-old little girl or little boy that was like, dude, I knew that I was going to shift the world in a profound way, and the world kind of should on me, or I allowed things to be conditioned, that I didn't choose from a young age to feel this conditioning. And now as an adult, I get to say, wait, time out. Let me try that on. Do I really like the way that fits? Like, toss it out. Like, literally open up the luggage, unpack it, and say, like, is this really how I want to show up? And if not, let's find a different piece of luggage, a lighter luggage. Let's unpack it. Let's throw it on a shelf. Say, thank you for the way you served me. No longer will I be needing you on my journey while I chase my lion.
Go roar.
I mean, girl, I cannot, like, honestly, and so again, let's go back to this.
Okay.
I worked on, all the different careers. First of all, I was a college athlete, and I love sports. I love sports. I think it's such a beautiful way for people to grow in a confidence they already have. It's a beautiful way for them to tap into the confidence and better understand where it comes from and that sort of thing.
Yes.
So it's a beautiful way to be on a team. There's so many ways we can get that sports
and that competitive nature. And supporting your team. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I don't know about participation ribbons. I want everyone to do sports, but I also, there is a big part of me that I think it's important to win.
Absolutely. And Teri, I might even add on to that. Learn how to lose.
Heck yeah.
To win and learn how to lose, because my gosh, the best times that I have lost, like I'll talk about a grave loss and how it left me hungry and humble.
Okay.
I've never talked about this before, and it's actually kind of embarrassing because it's where I was living in my ego. However, way back when I graduated, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be a college basketball coach. So I started out with that. And then I was like, gosh, this isn't really for me. And then I was a secretary at a high school. Then they tapped me on the shoulder and said, you are super unorganized. Like, this is not your best and highest use. Let's see if you could be the elementary principal. Like, can you smile? Can you love up on the kids? Can you high five the parents? Can you? And I was like, yeah, I can do that. I can do that better than I can organize this shit. Okay. So anyway, so then I got to be an elementary school principal. And from there, I went into personal training a little bit, which I know you're so profoundly powerful in, because your gut health, your strength, you're moving your body, all of those things are vital to being able to chase your lion and be Tashi Deley. It's really, really, really hard to love somebody else when I don't love the person I see in the mirror.
Yes.
And so a lot of that stems from what we put in our face, what's on our plate, what's off our plate, all of that. And I know you believe the same thing as a stellar girl. Your whole mission is to be stellar in all aspects of life, because we desire it. We just keep getting in our own way at times.
We do. It's about that self-talk. It's like, it's not, I have to go do this. It's like, I get to go do this. It's not, I will go do the laundry, not I have to go do the laundry, right? It's even those small little changes in the way we speak to our inner voice just changes, right?
I love this. And I'm going to give our listeners 2 considerations.
Please.
Let's consider, it's an invitation, never an expectation.
Okay.
Invitation, never an expectation. I wanted people to try this on, see how it tastes coming out of your mouth, because I think it tastes better. Okay. Instead of, but, we replace it with and. Ali, that's a great idea, but. No, Ali, that's a great idea, and. Or Ali, I can see your perspective, but. Or Ali, I can see your perspective, and. Here's what else I'd like to add to it. In a meeting, in a conversation with our children, when we put that but in, Teri, sometimes it's a dismissal unintentionally. It's an unintentional dismissal of whatever they just had to say. It's kind of like, I love you, but, boom. Like, I know I love you, and could you please put your socks in the laundry basket? Please, because it would really, really, really help me out. So switching our buts into ands, invitation for our listeners to consider that, and our shoulds into coulds, which is exactly what you were talking about. And that's what makes us stellar, right? That's what makes us Tashi Deley, is we are impeccable with our language. We are impeccable with our thinking, and we are impeccable with our language. And our language often impacts how we act and show up, right? As does our thinking. And so if we could also consider turning our shoulds into could. I should work out today. No, you know what? I could. I could work out today. When would be a good time for me to do that?
Yeah.
I should eat healthier. No, you know what? I could eat healthier.
Or
Right? I should have done that. And it's like, no, I could have done that yesterday. However, I didn't get to it. I'm going to be gentle with my soul. I'm going to be gentle with myself.
give yourself grace.
You got it, baby. You got it. So the shoulds to coulds and the buts to ands.
And this isn't happening to me. This is happening for me.
Amen, sister. I'm going to tell you, my coach is working with me specifically right now on 3 categories. To me, right? We and I get why we do it. I did it too for many decades. Okay. Oh, this space of victim, right? This space of it's happening to me. Life is happening to me. Okay. To me is one of the lowest level of energy. It's like the freaking, what is that? Winnie the Pooh, like the donkey is like, whoa, why even bother? It's like, why bother? Because the world needs you at your best.
Yeah.
Why bother? Because the world needs you chasing your lion. That's why bother. Okay. Because when you show up as a lesser, watered down version of you, the world suffers. Okay. Because the world needs you. You were created for a unique reason. And anytime you show up with, why even bother? The world does not get your greatness.
And that is so true in every aspect and at every age, from our daughters, like my 11-year-old showing up at a soccer game, whether it's your daughters, like how they show up at school with their friends. It's like, you should care. This life is for you. It was given.
Yes. Teri, I'm going to tell you this. So my coach is helping me work on, because when she first met me, I was a to me girl. I was a to me girl. I was definitely far from stellar. Okay. Like I was far from stellar. I was far from Tashi Deley, because I didn't love what I saw in the mirror when my coach first met me. Okay. And again, this is what I believe. Nobody gets great without coaching. Nobody gets great without coaching. We need great mentors, influencers, people. Motivation is internal. Inspiration is external. Yeah. So she says, we're working. When she met me, I recently divorced. Okay. In a really interesting divorce at that. Okay. And I was very much like, can you believe this is my life? Like, that was my talk track. Like, can you even believe this was my life? It was just such a to me talk track in my mind. Teri, it was not serving me. It was not serving the world. It was not serving the kids that needed me at my best, my children. And then it was like, oh, wait, time out. This life is happening for me thing. I like that. Like, I show up as a real awesome version of myself when I think thank you. And I don't mind what happens to me. I don't mind what happens to me. I don't label it anymore as this is great, this is awful, this is good, this is bad. They're reliable, they're unreliable, they're right and I'm wrong. None of that. There's so little judgment, because I've been working on my inner critic, Teri, for some time. Okay. I'm telling you, that's what helped me get to the life happens for me. Now, guess where I'm proud to say I am? I'm working on life happens through me, to me, for me, or through me. So my coach is inviting me to an even enhanced version of myself, an even better version of myself. And that is, life happens through me. And I'm in between there. I dabble in and I get excited, and then I kind of come back to what's safe, right? Like, I come back to safety, and then I dabble in and I thrive, and then I come back to what's safe. And so again, those 3 categories, I believe, are so powerful, and they help us show up in a way that we are proud of.
100%. Oh my gosh. You speak our language. You speak the Stellar Girl mission. I couldn't, you're a little drop on the pin. I wish we were in person, because people could feel this, right? People could feel you. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing. I want you, because I want you to explain a little bit more about Tashi Deley. I need you to explain how you honor that greatness within yourself, because that is your entire mission. I need you to explain that to me, and how we become it, and how we become the dream of it, and how it's transformed you. So, because that's you.
So thank you. The dream had me long ago, and I'll never forget. Most people often say, like, gosh, what courage to start your own business. Okay, that wasn't courage. that was encouraged because that was all part of what I was supposed to do.
Okay.
I never thought of being an entrepreneur, ever, ever, ever. In fact, I told God many times, pick a different chick. Like I have no business running my own business. I'm like, pick somebody else. I love you. And pick somebody else, dude. Like God, for real. Like this is not me. Like I am safe. I love my corporate job. I have finally found something I enjoy. I have a 401k, I have health insurance, all the things that whoever say is necessary. I am not taking this leap, recently divorced with 2 children and trying to figure it out. And I'm not kidding you. I always say there are several moments where I think God brings us to our knees and we have no option but to surrender.
Okay.
And this was one of those moments, Teri. And I just started crying. And I remember I'm going to get emotional here for a minute, but because I don't talk about the story often, Teri. So you strive. That's what Stellar Girl is you strive places that are hard to find and make visible to the world. So thank you. But I remember thinking, God, my relationship with God looks a lot like it did when I was 10. Meaning I pray before meals, I go to church, I thank him throughout the day. And if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Okay.
You know, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And so I started to change my relationship with God. And I remember thinking, I'm going to lay on the floor for prayer this morning. And I'm just going to look up. And I remember looking up and I thinking, like, I said to him, hey, God, how are you today? And he kind of chuckled. And again, I've never heard him this clearly and I've never talked about it. So if I stumble, it's because I've never really verbalized this story. But I was laying in this sunroom and I remember looking up and saying, like, God, I'm trying something different today because I desire a different relationship with you. And I was like, hey, how are you? And he was like, good, baby. Like, how are you? And I was like, how does your day look, God? And I remember thinking, what a interesting, odd question to ask God. Like he is in my mind. And again, let me go with this, Teri. I believe in God. I do not know he exists. Okay. Believing is not knowing. Okay. So when people say to me like, well, how do you know he's even, I don't, my answer is like, I really don't know. It's a belief. I choose to believe in a higher power and I believe it is God. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm laying down and I say to him, how does your day look? And it was almost like, oh my gosh, like who asks God that? Like he is, if you believe in him, he's the Alpha, the Omega. He's the one that's supposed to be helping me with my freaking day, you know? And I'm asking him like, how can I help, God? Like literally, and not in an ego way, but in a, like, I love you so much kind of way. Okay. Like I would ask my neighbor or my girlfriend or my guy friend or my, you know what I mean? My children. It was like that kind of a care. And I remember like sitting there and we both chuckled. And then I started to freaking cry. And I was like, dude, like, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. Why did you create me this way? Like, I freaking literally see people's souls. I see people's souls and I see their capability and I see them fall short because of the belief that they don't have in themselves or they don't see themselves the way that I see them, Lord. I'm freaking exhausted and I don't know what you made me for. Like, will you reveal what you created me for? It was just like this like, I just give it all to you. Like, I'm done trying to take the wheel. I'm done trying to be a principal. I'm done trying to be a high school basketball coach. I'm done trying to be a personal trainer. I'm done trying to, work for the NBA. I'm done trying to work for NBC 26 and be a broadcaster for sports. Like, I'm done. Like, tell me what the freak to do because I'm exhausted. I've tried all these careers and none of them are hitting the mark because I'm so discontent and I'm exhausted. And in that moment, Teri, it was like this, I don't even know how to explain it. It was almost like, he was like, oh, baby, you got it. It is to ignite my people. Like, that is exactly why you were created. And you can't do it as a principal for 300 and you can't do it in a company, at a credit union for 500 people. And you can't do it right in a basketball arena for 20 girls. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, you could. And I'm calling more.
Yes.
And that's when it was like, all right, 7.7 billion people. Here we go.
Here we go.
Let's roll.
Let's go.
Let's roll. So that's how it started, Tara. How it's going is this. We ignite people through a couple different platforms. First of all,
yes,
people are in corporate cultures,
right?
The statistics I want them to know is this. Unfortunately or fortunately, we're not going to label it. However, I'm not sure the statistic is one I desire for the people I know and love. 87% of people worldwide sort their job as more of a frustration than fulfillment. I'll say that again. 87% of people worldwide sort their job as more of a frustration than that of fulfillment.
It's a lot of people.
That's a lot, baby. And that's why Stellar Girl does what she does. And that's why Tashi Deley does what we do, is because that number's not okay. 60% of our adult life is spent working or preparing to work. I want people to love the energy that other people bring. I want them to feed off of it and thrive. I do not want them in survival mode. I do not want them venting, gossiping, frustrated. They bring it home. They're bitching to their wife. They're complaining to their husband about their boss and their team members and all of this. Like, that's just, it doesn't have to be that way. There's a better way. And so I go into corporate cultures and I work with teams to ignite and do their own work independently and together, so that those numbers go down and they are more engaged and they do love what they do and they thrive at work and then they thrive at home. And so we have that
full circle. So that is that the Novent?
Well, that is part of the November. I love that you brought it up, Teri.
I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about the enlightenment.
Awesome. Let's do that. November really came from a space of just believing there was a better way to show up. Like, we don't have to show up in a way that, like, we have meetings after the meeting, right? Where it's like, oh my gosh, can you believe Teri made that decision? Like, I just think it's such a wrong decision for the company. Or like, oh my gosh, can you believe Ali said this in that meeting? Like, who does she think she is? Like, we don't talk about each other. We talk to each other. That's what November is. And so it ignites people to go on a 30-day, commit to quit kind of thing, where they're not going to complain, negatively. And if they are going to say something, they say, for what purpose am I going to say this really? Because if it is because I'm going to go have the conversation with the person and not about the person, absolutely, I can have it to practice. However, we have like a whole program, like, how do you quit? How do you quit? Well, it's as simple and as hard as this. You literally say, like, Teri, you're my girl. I go to you for everything, about everything, my excitements and my frustrations. Over the next 30 days, Teri, I am choosing to do this Tashi Deley Novent thing. And I need your help because I cannot do it alone. You are my chick. I go to you for the things. So when I come to you because inevitably I've exercised this muscle of venting to you. So when I come to you, I need you to give me a little time out and say, hey, wait a second, Al, is this for good? Is this going to help you be better or more bitter? Because if it's going to help you be better, Al, I'll listen. If it's going to help you become more bitter and ignite, this frustration, then I'm going to say, time out. You asked me to help you stop for 30 days. And if after 30 days, people don't feel lighter, if after 30 days, Teri, they don't feel more fulfilled in their relationships, if after 30 days, they don't see the world differently, they can go back to venting.
Okay.
I'm not telling people how to think. I just want to give people things to think about.
And a
chance. Maybe it's so important. Yeah. Sometimes we aid to the very thing we don't want. I think venting is that for most people.
I agree. I mean, people complain all the time.
It just eats to that low level of, energy. Why even bother?
Yeah. Be the energy you want to create. Absolutely. Amen. Yep. Okay. And monthly enlightenment, because we have to plug everything. We have to plug everything, Ali Starr. We need to stand up.
I love you. Okay, let's stand up.
Like, oh my gosh, like I'm done sitting.
I know. I can bring up a desk too if I needed to.
Okay, you
just had to get a little stretch. Well, no, you're the one that's like, Al, go back to your hotel, grab 20 squats, like crush it. I love you. I'll see you in the morning. And I'm like, thank you. Like those little mustard seeds that Stellar Girl plants are powerful. Like, I would have never went back to my room and done 20 squats unless my dear new friend Teri didn't invite me to. So anyhow, okay, I love you, and I love you,
and yeah,
I love you, and baby, I love you, and so this enlightenment series. Thank you so much for asking. It is a monthly workshop, really. Okay, people come to do their own work. Listen, I am the facilitator, just much like you. I am the guide to being stellar. I am the guide to being Tashi Deley. That is what we do, Teri. They already have what they need within. It's just, usually we need to unlearn some shit. Like usually we need to unlearn some things, some behaviors that are holding us back, right? And I never thought that more apparent than when my first marriage ended. I realized 5 years into my next one, I was showing up very similar. I always said to my therapist, just because I changed partners did not mean I changed patterns. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I had some internal work to do. It wasn't all, somebody else's job.
Right.
That's what we do. We come and we do our own work. And so it's a workshop. It's the first Wednesday of every month. It's an hour-and-a-half workshop. It's 11 to 12:30 Central Standard Time. Okay, so the first Wednesday of every month, 11 to 12:30 Central Standard Time. We have massive topics, Tara, like judgment. So it's Judgment January, Forgiveness February, Mask Off March.
Love it.
Okay, so we've got How Do We Be Joyful June, Justice July, when we feel like somebody has betrayed us. Like, like when we feel like there needs to be justice and and how do we show up with complete empathy? Right? Because 80% of the people we work with wish we were more empathetic. And so it's like, how do we be that? Like, how do we be the person that we actually desire in other people? That's what we're doing in these enlightenment series. And so it's super bomb work. I love it. It's virtual. You can do it from anywhere. You could be,
super bomb.
It's super bomb, baby. It's super bomb, in my opinion. I mean, like the things that these people have done as a result of doing their own work is inspiring.
Well, people want to change, but they don't want to do the work to do it. And you have to do the work to change. You got to get off your butt and go do your 20 squats and get outside in nature and get grounding and get outside and move your body however you can, however that is for your personal, right? It's not for everyone to go walk 5 miles every day. Lots of people are not capable of doing that. You get to do what you can. If you're sitting, you're recovering from injury, you can still move, and you still whatever you eat is not just what you fuel your body with. It's like what you social media, TV, people who are around you, right? It's everything that feeds you. Everything. I am blessed to have you in my life. I loved our conversation. We're going to have to do a part 2. We're going to do a part 2. We're going to do a little check-in on Ali Starr. You've got the name. You've got the energy. I am so excited that you are part of our Stellar Girl community and that we are part of yours.
And absolutely. Forever. Always and in always, my dear. Always and in always. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And all of your information will be plugged when we set this up on Apple and Spotify and YouTube. We will tag everything Tashi Deley. We will make sure that's all set up for people to read and see so that we don't have to talk about that now.
I love you.
And have a beautiful, beautiful day.
Thank you, Stellar Girl. Tashi Deley. I see you and I honor the greatness within you, Teri. Love you.
Back at you. See you on the other side.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon to be notified of new episodes. To learn more about the Stellar Girl movement, please visit us at stellargirl.com.